So, Robin would definitely tell you that I got the better end of this deal because she is stuck in New York City. She, after the show this morning, headed to LaGuardia where she sat, and the bad weather grounded all of the flights. But she's here with us, not only in spirit, but also her gorgeous face. So let's bring up Robin Roberts.
Hello. Hi, Tory.
Hey, Robin.
How are you?
You have 10,000 adoring Massachusetts women staring right at you right now. And I know you can feel that love.
You know, I do feel it, and I am there. I was begging the flights, please, please. And we were all sitting there at the airport, and there was just no getting there. So you all are very good. I thought I was going to have the afternoon off, and you were like, no, go back to the studio, and we'll do this. So I'm glad to be via satellite with you.
We're going to have a lot of fun with Robin. We are going to talk about the things that are really connected to Robin: faith, family, friends, and fun. And I thought that it would be a lot of fun to start with the fun part.
Yeah.
Those of you who watch Good Morning America, which I'm sure is all 10,000 of you, right? You all watch Good Morning America? Yes? Excellent. Know that for our Halloween, yeah, she wants to make sure of that. You know that for Halloween, Robin dressed as a character on one of her favorite television shows. Take a look. Let's see this picture right here of Robin from Halloween. Do we have it? So there she is as Olivia Pope from Scandal. Looking pretty good, right? Looking pretty good. But instead of us being the judge of how Robin did, we have the actress who every Sunday night plays Olivia Pope. Joining us from Los Angeles, let's welcome Kerry Washington.
Yeah.
Do we have... There they are. Yeah. So ignore my name there. Kerry and Robin, can you guys hear each other? Say hi to each other.
I can hear Robin, Kerry laughing. Hi. I know that laugh anywhere. Hi.
Hi.
She's great.
Thank God for modern technology.
You know,
they can hear each other.
Where would we be without it? And I have to thank you. Yeah, we can. Kerry, thank you very much for tweeting me because I was very afraid about playing you for Halloween. And I was so bummed that they made me give back the Burberry raincoat and the Prada bag. I couldn't keep that, though I tried really hard.
I don't get to keep Olivia's coats and bags either, so don't take it personally.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So, Kerry, I know that you wanted to be here with 10,000 amazing women, and you have a message for everybody here that you'd love to share.
Yeah, I just... Really, I'm so deeply saddened by the fact that I can't be there with you. As many of you know, because I'm always reading on Twitter when people are asking me, Kerry, when do you sleep? So I know that many of you know that I'm a woman who really values showing up, whether it's for my career or for service or for friends or family. I try to live my life fully. So I try to do whatever I can and be wherever I can. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as women to do that. So it goes without saying that I'm saddened by my inability to be there today. Unforeseeable circumstances have made it impossible for me to be there with you, amazing, beautiful, powerful women. Obviously, it's disappointing and humbling. And if there was any way that I could be there, I would. I want to say that I find it so deeply inspiring that you all are there. I imagine it wasn't easy for many of you to attend. Logistically, financially, I can imagine numerous challenges standing in your way, but there you are, thousands of you converging in one place to tap into and to celebrate the power of us. And I find this year's theme especially poignant because it speaks not only to our extraordinary power as women, but to the usness of it all, speaking to the power of us, of coming together with one another as a community, as a force, as a powerful collection of individuals who are even stronger when we're united. So I just wanted to speak very briefly about usness, and I wanted to do that by talking a little bit about Scandal. I have the extraordinary gift of playing Olivia Pope every Thursday night at 10 on ABC. And it's such a treat to play a woman who is on primetime network television, and she's extremely powerful and also profoundly flawed. She is like so many women I know, myself included. She excels in certain areas, and she's really challenged in others, as you all know. She's kind of like a real life woman. At least to me she is, because it's my job to make her that way. And I guess the thing I wanted to share with you guys is that one of the most extraordinary experiences about being a part of this show is that I am part of a community of talented and powerful, generous, supportive women. And each of the women who are involved with this show are invested in the fulfillment of visionary excellence for themselves, but also for each other. It starts with our creator and showrunner, Shonda Rhimes, to her equally powerful and brilliant producing partner, Betsy Beers, our co-executive producer who's real life inspired the show, Judy Smith, our line producer, Mary Howard, our costume designer, Lynn Paolo, our casting director, Linda Lowy. Our crew is full of badass women behind the scenes who are really fearless and committed and amazing to work for. I love working for women, and I say that in this room full of all of you to say it's so important that we step into our power as women, because it's awesome to work for women and to work with women and men who appreciate and celebrate women. So the other thing is that in front of the camera, it's the same way. I know that there are a lot of kind of stereotypes about the competitive nature of women in the business, and I know that we can get caught up in those images of competition, but I love this idea of the power of us, because that's what we have in our cast as well. Not in this group are we competitive in any way. We're all so different, and yet what we share is an absolute commitment to celebrate each other and support each other and encourage each other on this crazy roller coaster life experience that we're on. The women in the cast, Katie and Darby and Bellamy and myself, we have formed a sisterhood of women, each vastly different from one another, but we've all made this unspoken mostly and sometimes spoken commitment to love one another and be there for one another and do whatever we can to help each other fulfill our calling and our destiny as artists and as women. So that usness really has made us stronger as individuals and as a show. I find this to be one of the greatest gifts about having this opportunity. It's awesome to wear the Burberry and the Prada, but it's even more spectacular to really be a part of a community of supportive women. All that we embody, our complexities, how powerful we each are, and the alchemy that happens when women come together, when we join forces for each other. Usness is such a powerful thing, especially with women. So please know that although I'm not with you in body, I am completely there in spirit and completely there in my heart. And I pray that I'm able to be there in the future, because it's such a wonderful annual coming together of women. And in the meantime, I just want to thank you all, and you, Robin, but everyone for showing up on this journey of powerful togetherness. I want to thank everyone at the Massachusetts Conference of Women for their sensitivity and compassion and support. Robin Roberts, you were an extraordinary Olivia Pope, so please do not come to LA. I fear for my job. And just really thank you all. I also wanted to say for Blake, because I was watching your speech this morning, that I do have my Tom's sunglasses with me. And so you all should very much enjoy your gift certificates in your bags as we continue to support women in our small communities and in our larger global communities. So thank you so much. I know it's going to be an extraordinary day. I can't wait to hear you. So I'm going to stop talking.
Thank you. Thank you, Kerry Washington. Big thank you. All right, Kerry, so we're going to go back to Robin now in New York, and we're going to dive in with Robin on all the things that I promised you, starting with back to the early days, Robin. We're going to go back to some of your very first jobs, local sports reporter in Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, and then you land in the big leagues at ESPN. And I know that one of the things that I've been that's always sort of struck me that I've read about is that you said that when you got that job, the margin of error for you was a whole lot less than that of your white male colleagues because the stakes were very high. So I'd love for you to talk about that.
Okay, I'll be happy to do that, but first I have to say something about Kerry. She has been on Good Morning America. She has come by here. Everything that you think she is, she's that, and so much more. And when their cast is together, as she talked about, it is wonderful to see, and I am just honored to be her understudy at any point. And she knows a little bit about sports too, so I feel like we're in good company here. But when I did, Tory, get to ESPN in 1990, there were only a handful of us that were actually doing SportsCenter at that time, and I was the first African-American woman hired to be on air at ESPN at the time. And I did know that if I didn't do a good job, it would be less likely that somebody else, like me, would be hired. And I didn't internalize that and get angry and, well, that's just not right. It made me better. It made me better. And when I see the legions of women that we see now in sports television, and no one even bats an eye, and it wasn't that way in the 80s and 90s when coming up. But you know what? I just wanted to be a sports journalist. I wasn't trying to get on a soapbox. I wasn't trying to do anything other than fulfill my dream. And I was very lucky to have a very dominant mother and father. My father was a Tuskegee Airman. Okay, come on. If he's going to be the first in the military as an African-American to fly, I want to be a sports journalist. That's the least that I could do. And so I really realized that I had an opportunity, and I embraced it, and I wanted to make sure that I could pave the way for others like me to follow suit.
And that was the beginning of a lot of firsts, and you've certainly done that for so many people, both on the air and off the air. And ABC News spotted you and decided that they needed you at Good Morning America, and you made the leap from ESPN to Good Morning America. And at the time, Diane Sawyer said you were very nervous. You were nervous about making this transition, and I think that's something that a lot of people in this room, no matter what industry we're in, when we decide to take that leap and to move into another area, can we do it? Do we have the transferable skills? Will we be taken seriously? So share with us what went through your mind at those days.
The willingness to venture outside of your comfort zone. If you don't remember anything, remember that. You have to be willing to venture outside of your comfort zone. And for me, sports, oh my goodness, I've been 5'10" since I was 2 years old. So I was destined to play sports, and I wanted to be a professional athlete, but there's something called ability that you have to have for that to happen. And I had the heart, but not quite the ability. So I wanted to be a sports journalist. So I'm living happily ever after at ESPN. I'm happy as a clam. I'm great. And people kept asking me to move into news. And at the time, I thought news was a 4-letter word. And then I realized, you know how sometimes you do this? You say no out of habit. You've said no for so long, you don't even realize why you're saying no anymore. And so when people would keep saying, do you want to move into news? I would say no. And I went to a mentor of mine, Billie Jean King, the great Billie Jean King, who has become a dear friend. And I was at the crossroads. Am I going to make this venture into Good Morning America and into news? And I talked to her, and I thought that surely she'd go, oh, you can't leave, Robin. We need you in sports. And it was almost like a scene out of, Cher. Remember, snap out of it. And she kind of slapped me like, no, of course you're going to go and do that. And I was so grateful that I was willing to venture outside of my comfort zone and to realize that I was limiting myself, that I still can cover sports, and I still do, but the bigger platform. And boy, Diane Sawyer, and she even sits in this chair that I'm sitting in right now. I'm going to leave her a note so when she sees it, when she comes in the studio later. But she is so generous and so kind, and making me believe that this was something I could do and something that I wanted to do.
One of the things that you did early on in your time at Good Morning America was venture out into the field when Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf states. And it was a connection for you, very personal. I remember watching, you were on air, and Charlie Gibson turned to you. He was talking to you via satellite, and he asked if you had made a connection yet with your family, and you had, and it was an incredible moment. Robin burst into tears live on air in that moment and thought she was going to be fired, but something obviously very, very different happened. Share with us about that.
Yeah, I thought there's no crying in television, network television, especially, Tory, that surely I was going to lose my job. And just to preface it a little bit, I had just been named the third co-anchor with Charlie Gibson and Diane Sawyer, Robin Roberts, with them as a co-anchor. And I was still kind of doubting myself just a little bit. Did I make the right decision? Should I have stayed in sports? Should I have stayed at ESPN? Hurricane Katrina comes along, August of 2004, and I realized, 2005, and I realized at that moment that I was put in a place that I was supposed to be. And I lost contact with my family earlier that day. I went down, flew overnight, got there the next morning after Katrina, had lost contact with my family. I was there to broadcast for Good Morning America. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. They thought I was there to broadcast. I was there to find my mama. I was going to hitch a ride on the plane down there to find my mom and my sister, whom I'd lost contact with. That's why I was there. And if I could do some work, okay. And we had police officers helping us get to a location, was able to find my mother and my sister and my nieces just shortly before we went on the air. My mother encouraged me to go back out. She said, okay, we're fine. The house was not in good shape, but thankfully they were doing well. I got back to my location for the live shot, and I've become very professional. I'm, and I'm there, and I'm reporting this is what happened when I arrived, and the destruction, and blah 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 blah. And at the very end, in IFB like I have right now, Charlie Gibson said, "When you left here, you didn't know about your family. Did you find them?" And I just the waterworks started. I just could not control it, and I just said that I knew that so many people were watching that morning, didn't know about their loved ones. I knew what that felt like. And being from that area, I knew what was supposed to be all around me that wasn't there because that was my home. And I thought for sure I was going to get fired. You don't show emotion. You just don't do something like that. And just the opposite happened. People embraced the authenticity of that moment. And they donated their time and resources and realized how desperate the situation was there. So you just never know.
And then there was, you can give her a round of applause for that, sure.
Thanks.
So then there was an even more personal moment of connecting with the audience, of choosing to be vulnerable, choosing to let everybody know that you had received a diagnosis of breast cancer. Then we cheered when you went into remission. And then last year came another blow that required a bone marrow transplant. A lot for anyone to endure, and you chose to endure it all in front of us. So talk us through some of that.
Well, I've talked to you, Tory. You're a good friend, and you know how close I was to my mother. And she encouraged me to make your mess your message. Make your mess your message. And I did not intend when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007 to go public. And my mother made me aware of the opportunity to be of service and to help others. That I had great health care, a great job, support, love at home, love at work, and that I could get out the message about early detection. And so I was happy to do that and go on the air, 2 hairs on my head and such. And then when I was diagnosed just recently with MDS a couple of years ago, it was quite a blow because I thought that I had learned the lessons that I was supposed to learn through that first battle, and I was put into this other situation. And it just goes to show you that you have to take the time. And I don't know what the dreams and hopes of all the thousands of women that are there, and you're going to go through challenges. I went through challenges. Boy, when my mother passed away a few days before I had my transplant, I thought, that's it. I was down for the count. And I realized that if you don't take the time to understand the meaning of what you're going through, that's the tragedy. That is the tragedy. not what is happening to you, if you don't take the time to understand the meaning and the purpose. And that's something that my mother taught me very well. And so I was able to increase the bone marrow registry through my dear sister, Sally Ann, who was my perfect match. And everyone thinks that if you have a sibling or a family member, it's automatic, but it's only 30% of the time, that they're a match. So you have to rely 70% of the time for others to come through for you, complete strangers. But I am so grateful and so thankful. And that's primarily why I wanted to be there today, to look in 10,000 eyes and just say thank you. Thank you for lifting me up. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for giving me the strength. It's when people say I have courage and that, and I look at them and said, people gave me this courage. It didn't come from anywhere else but people praying and believing, and I believing in, and that this too shall pass. And I am proud to be a symbol for everyone that this too shall pass.
I love that. I loved the morning that you came back, 174 days off the air, and you came back to a gorgeous celebration. Everyone's seeing pictures of the cake that Buddy made, and sort of lots of smiling faces with your sisters and with
You like
George.
my head, like my little bald head? I thought I had hair going on then, and I look at that picture and think, well, but boy, good thing I have a good shaped head. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry, Tori. Go ahead.
Can you share with us one thing that you learned about yourself in those 174 days?
I learned something about myself, and something that we all should know. We are all just a little bit stronger than we think we are. I did not feel that at some point I was going to get through this last. It really, when I was in that hospital, after 10 consecutive days of chemo, my complete system was flushed, and before my sister's stem cells were inserted into my body, and then we had to pray and hope that they would take. There were moments that I doubted what the outcome would be, and I just realized that we are all stronger. It's just like you just have to get to the next day. A lot of people, and I know someone on Twitter asked you last night, Tori, how do I keep my optimism in those really dark moments? And there was no darker moment than what I experienced soon after my mother passed and I went into the hospital facing the transplant. And optimism is a muscle that gets stronger with use. It becomes a reflex, and I'm so grateful that I was taught that. And you have to change the way you think in order to change the way you feel. You have to change the way you think in order to change the way you feel. And that's what I learned through this past year. And when I got back to Good Morning America that February morning, it was, my goodness, it was a beautiful time for me. It was a real, but it's not so much what you accomplish in life, it's what you overcome that stays with you. So that's what I really want to stress. It's not the accomplishments, it's what we all overcome that really strengthens us and really makes us who we are.
So Speaking of those happy moments, you coming back on air, another really happy moment was very recently when you received from ESPN the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. And so we're looking at some pictures of you in that super sexy red dress with King James giving you that award. And before we talk specifically about one of the things that I liked most about that night, several people here in this hall and on Twitter said, you must get Robin to tell us, how does she get those jack arms? So we see them in the picture, and we certainly see them on you right there.
Oh, what do you mean as I scratch right here? As I'm trembling as I'm doing it. It's really, that ESPY moment was so fascinating for me. My brother was there, my sisters were there, my girlfriend was there, all the people who mean the most to me were there. And you've never lived until you see your big sister taking a selfie on the red carpet with Tom Cruise. And I'm like, please, don't take a selfie with these people. Come on, act like you've been on the red carpet before. But I am very grateful that I put myself in a position for some good things to happen to me by being health conscious. And I do yoga, I do Pilates, But I am just so really grateful that I know those things didn't prevent me from becoming ill. But if you take the time to just take a little care of yourself, it will not perhaps prevent you from an illness, but it does help you in fighting that illness.
So the line from that night that was trending on Twitter that everybody was talking about the next day, the next week, was when you said, "When fear knocks, let faith answer the door." And faith plays such an enormous role in your life.
Just think about that for a moment. Fear comes knocking on your door. Knock, 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 knock. Fear. Fear here. Knock, knock, knock. The door opens and there's faith. Fear is going to go to another door. It's going to keep on moving. When fear knocks, let faith answer the door. And it takes real courage to, thank you. It takes courage to believe that the best is yet to come. It was so difficult for me to go through this last battle because my mother was not there. And when she was for breast cancer, sometimes I would call her and she would sing sweet gospel songs to me like "By and By." And the last line is that we'll all understand, we'll have a better understanding by and by. And that to me is about having faith. It's like knowing that even during the difficult times, that if you keep your faith and you truly believe, the best is yet to come.
All right, so speaking of the best, I saved the most fun for last. We've got about 2 more minutes, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun have a little lightning round here. And I took all these specific questions from...
Oh, you're turning the tables on me.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Now you get to know what it feels like,
What you got? What you got?
Okay. So I'll shout something out,
really,
and you tell us...
I don't like it. I like your role better. Okay.
Exactly. Favorite cocktail?
Oh, a favorite cocktail. Let's see. I do like a good margarita. No salt. I will say that. But you don't want to see me on those. Have you ever heard of a woo-woo?
No.
A woo-woo?
What's
Anybody
in it?
know what a woo-woo there? It's cranberry, Grey Goose, and a splash of peach schnapps. You drink enough of those, you're going woo. I think that's how it's got its name. Woo. A woo-hoo. A woo-woo.
Okay, so when you're drinking those...
I don't have it.
Tell me the top picks on your playlist.
All my doctors are not there anyway. Yeah. Top picks on my playlist. Overcomer by Mandisa. Love me some Mandisa. Overcomer. A song that I wrote with India Ari. A Beautiful Day. Life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes. This chances we've taken. Lay down your regrets because all we have is now. I love that. A Beautiful Day. I go Motown a lot, Midnight Train to Georgia, but I do have a lot of Motown on. I go old school a lot.
Cats
J5.
or dogs?
You've seen KJ, Tory. You know my beloved 15-year-old Jack Russell. She can barely hear or see, but she's my baby. She's my 4-legged baby. We had cats growing up, but I'm a dog person. Sorry.
Dog person. All right, guilty pleasure.
Ooh, I do like to watch me some Scandal. Thursday nights right here on ABC. I do love Scandal. And also, can I say, Housewives of Atlanta? I watch Housewives of Atlanta, Nene and everybody. Yeah, sorry, I do.
I know we should give a big. We got to give a big shout out here to Channel 5 WCVB because we've got the biggest morning star in Robin, the biggest evening star in Kerry. So you catch them both here on Channel 5. All right, a couple quick last ones. Biggest fear. Biggest fear.
Biggest fear. Cobwebs. Cobwebs freak me out. If I go down to my basement and it's not a good scene. Cobwebs.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so it's the holiday season, and so we know in the holiday season everyone's got their wish list, and I am certain, without even asking you, that on that list of yours is world peace and a cure for cancer and making sure that Good Morning America stays #1 in the mornings. But if you had to add a fourth and final to that wish list, your wish for all 10,000 Massachusetts women, and there's a whole bunch of men here too, but these 10,000 amazing women who are here, your wish for them as we enter 2014.
2014. My slogan for 2013 was all will be serene in 2013. Our family always comes up with little slogans. Good health. My wish for everyone there, good health. And that I don't know what your dreams, what your aspirations, what your desires are, but I want you to feel and know that you're just a little bit stronger than you think that you are, and to always change the way you think, to make yourself feel better, to change the way you feel. And I just wish all good things, and I want to be a reflection of the love that you have shown me and reflect it back to you and let you see the beauty of you, the beauty of us. And I just thank you so much, and I wish nothing but the best for you, your loved ones, and your family, but primarily I pray and hope for you good health in 2014.
We'll cheer to that, Robin. We'll cheer to that. So it's your turn, you guys. If you had...
I put on hose and...
What were you going to say, Robin?
I put on hose and everything. I was all ready to come. I was saying I put on hose and everything when I was coming.
I know, so did everybody
do that.
here.
That's how dressed up I got for you guys.
I know, you look gorgeous.
Sorry.
And so we want to send you off with a whole lot of Massachusetts love. So you guys get the last word. You know, big cheer, big kiss for our amazing Robin Roberts.
Thank you. Oh. Woo! Thank you. Thanks, Tory.
Thank you, Robin. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow morning on Good Morning America. We're doing, since I was here today for Deals and Steals, we're doing Deals and Steals tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning on Channel 5 right here. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.